Yo guys, what is going on? Lucky here, and today I bring you the top 5 rarest tanks in World of Tanks. So just to clarify, this list excludes tanks that haven't been released yet and Chinese server only tanks like the Nameless and the Gold Type 59, since the Chinese server is not owned by Wargaming, and also Clan Wars World War tanks are not included in this list as well. Also, please take note that this is my personal experience with the rarity of these vehicles, so please don't murder me in the comment section if I missed any of the tanks that you would have picked for this list. But that was quite enough talking, so for now I'm just gonna say, without further ado, let's get straight into the list. So at number 5 we have the ISU-130. So the ISU-130 is a tier 8 Russian premium tank destroyer that was randomly gifted to a pre-selected group of players, which includes Wargaming employees, server moderators and some community contributors. For the matter of fact, I know that Sled Phantom actually owns one, which is pretty cool.
You son of a whore, you fucking backing up.
But the ISU-130 is basically a premium ISU-152 with a 130mm gun. Therefore, it has 1000 hit points with a 90mm of frontal and side armor and 60mm of rear armor, with a 520 horsepower engine and a top speed of 38 km per hour forwards and 14 km per hour backwards, and it has a traverse speed of 29 degrees per second. So overall it's just an ISU hull with some minor differences. But the biggest difference is of course the gun. It has a 130mm gun with 490 alpha damage and 210mm of penetration and a 9.88 second reload with 100% crew of course. Which means that this thing actually has just shy of 3000 DPM. For a freaking tier 8 tank destroyer, that's simply insane. And also the premium rounds are very unique, because they are quite like the SU-100 and Y, since the premium AP rounds do 570 alpha damage, but only have 187mm of penetration. So yeah, overall the ISU-130 isn't only a rare tank, but it's also actually quite a good tank as well. I would actually love to get one on my hands, but I guess that will sadly just remain a dream for me. So at number 4 we have the Panzerkampfwagen 5/4 Alpha. Not to be mistaken by the regular Panzer IV-5, which was a pre-order bonus, just like the M6A2 and the VA32. But the Panzer V-4 Alpha is a tier 5 German premium tank, which was gifted to World of Tanks alpha testers all the way back in, I believe it was 2010 if I'm not mistaken. But anyways, the vehicle is basically a Panther hull with a Panzer IV turret mounted on top of it. It has 870 hit points and its hull armor is 85 at the front and 40 on the sides and rear. Very similar to the Panther of course. And for the turret armor it has 50 on the front and 30 at the sides and rear, which is of course exactly the same as the Panzer IV turret. It has a 700 horsepower engine with a top speed of 55 km per hour forwards and 20 backwards, and with a traverse speed of 39 degrees per second for the hull and 45 degrees per second for the turret, which is again fairly similar to the Panther. And for the further rest, it has quite an average gun for its tier, which is very comparable to the Panzer IV's fully upgraded gun. So overall it looks like quite a fun and definitely unique tank to have. So at number 3 we have the KV-222T. So the KV-222T is a tier 5 Russian premium heavy tank, and I guess that most of you are familiar with the regular KV-222, which has been for sale quite a few times throughout the years. And yes, that's already quite a rare tank, since it hasn't been on sale a lot. And yes, the KV-222 and the KV-222T are actually two different tanks. Well, actually, they are just exactly the same stat-wise, but the only difference between the two is that the T version has a different name of course, and a giant T painted on the side of its turret. But that makes it a whole lot rarer than the regular version, since the T version has only been gifted to beta testers, therefore only a handful of players actually own one, which makes it of course a very rare tank. But I already said, stat-wise, the regular KV-220 and the T version are exactly the same. They both have 690 hit points, 120mm of armor at the front of the hull, and 100mm at the sides and rear. And for the turret, 90 at the front and 75 5 at the sides and rear. It rocks a 850 horsepower engine and it has a top speed of 33 km per hour forwards and 10 km per hour backwards. And a traverse speed of 20 degrees per second on the hull and 22 degrees per second on the turret. And it has a pretty standard 76mm Russian gun with 110 alpha damage and 99mm of penetration. So overall the differences between the two versions might be oh so small, but the rarity difference is then oh so big, which we are unfortunately never gonna get our hands on. So at number 2 we have the MTLS 1G14. The MTLS is a tier 3 American premium light tank which was meant to release together with the BTSV and the Panzer IIJ. But unlike the Panzer IIJ and the BTSV, which now have been on sale quite a few times, the MTLS on the other hand has never been on sale. Why? I don't know, but what I do know is that the MTLS is currently only available on press accounts, which makes it even rarer than the previously mentioned alpha/beta tester tanks. But the extreme rarity isn't the only unique aspect of this vehicle. No, this vehicle also is the only tank in World of Tanks that has two fully functioning 37mm cannons with a total clip size of 10 rounds, with each shell packing 40 alpha damage and 45mm of penetration. And for the further rest, the armor is pretty standard for a tier 3 light. It has 38mm at the front of the hull, 25 at the sides and rear, and for the turret it has exactly the same values as on the hull. Then this vehicle packs a 240 horsepower engine with a top speed of 42 km per hour forwards and 16 km per hour backwards, with a traverse of 31 degrees per second for the hull and 45 degrees per second on the turret. So overall, except for the dual guns, this thing actually is quite an average tier 3 light tank, but it still remains one of the rarest tanks ever. So here we are at the moment you probably all have been waiting for. The number 1 spot goes to the Char 2C Bis. The Char 2C Bis was meant to be a French premium super heavy tank with a 155mm howitzer. Pretty much a French OI with a premium status. All the way back in 2012 when Wargaming uploaded a trailer of patch 7.4, which was gonna introduce the French tech tree. They teased us with a very short clip of the Char 2C Bis standing inside the garage, which you can see on the screen right now. So this has to be probably the most mysterious tank in the game, since only a few of its stats were known, like the size, which was by the way absolutely massive if you compare it to the Foch, which was previously shown standing in the garage before the Char 2C popped up, and of course you can see the gun caliber, which looks like a 155mm howitzer. So I skimmed out the internet to find out some more information about this potential French premium super heavy, and the only thing I could find is that the Char 2C Bis was planned to go out together with the French tech tree update as the first French premium tank. But shortly before the patch released, when the Char 2C was in the super test, Wargaming quickly realized that after a lot of tries, it was impossible to balance the vehicle correctly. So eventually they decided to remove the Char 2C Bis from patch 7.4 and give it to a few Wargaming employees as a bonus tank. And now, 5 years later, we still haven't seen a glimpse of the Char 2C Bis except for those few seconds in the 7.4 trailer. So will this vehicle ever make its public appearance in the game? I think maybe, since Wargaming is planning to add a second French heavy line, so they might put the Char 2C in that line somewhere as a standard French heavy tank. But I'm afraid we just have to wait and see to find out what Wargaming's plans are with this tank. So guys, that was the end of this top 5 video. If you enjoyed it, please drop a like, I would highly appreciate it. Also comment down below what your top 5 most rarest tanks would be. I'm very interested to see your opinion as well. Also, if you haven't already, please click that subscribe button so you will stay up to date with all of my new videos. And with that said, I'm just gonna say have an awesome day and I'll catch you guys later.